Hello everyone and welcome to round 7 of the Neo Racing League season. We are here at the Shanghai International Circuit for the Chinese Grand Prix. The 3.3 mile circuit contains 16 turns, 7 to the left and 9 to the right, with 2 DRS zones completing the circuit of the 28 lap race we have today. The circuit opened and joined the F1 calendar in 2004, hosting the 2005 finale, and it went on to see iconic moments such as the two in 2007 where we saw Lewis Hamilton go off into the gravel trap on pit entry and being unable to recover, eventually losing the title due to it, despite having a massive championship lead. Or we have another one iconic moment like Daniel Ricciardo in 2018 going from 6th to 1st in 10 laps, and he went on to take victory that race day. In Neo, we have raced at this circuit in Season 1 and Season 2, only having one man take the top spot on the podium, that being Marocon, winning both of them races. But with him not being here tonight, like many other races we've said, we are guaranteed a different winner. I am your commentator, Jamie Jackson, and I will lead you through the 28 tours of the circuit and 2 qualifying sessions for this evening. So we'll quickly go over last week's race results. We had Speed Queen take victory over Gary Gator by 1 second by the end of that race, and taking the 19 points and pole position as well. Speed Queen there. Gary finishing second, like we say. Funny Wave Band coming home on debut with a podium place, with JPS coming home in 4th. Our championship leader took a quite substantial hit in the championship lead. A Shoot Fizzle finished in 5th place. Could have been worse considering the circumstances. Unfortunately, a disconnect and a 3-second time penalty did not help Shoot Fizzle's chances that race. Marchmeister finished in P6 with Rupsi Cola in 7th place. Rowley finished in P8. Detective Midge finished in 9th with Hamflap Kelly rounding out the top 10. So this leads us on to our drivers' standings now, as Shoot Fizzle continues to lead the way with 80 points over Gary Gator. 80 points as he leads the championship. Gary Gator only 16 points behind now, less than a race win cover him and the championship, the 2 championship leaders, as Gary looks to close in even more. So this race, Speed Queen moved up to 3rd place after that victory in Austria, with Rupsicola dropping down to 4th, now only 2 points behind the Red Bull, with JPS in P5, Beckaloo in P6, tied with points with Marchmeister, and 10 points behind them is this guy Neo. Hamflap Kelly behind him in 9th, and Bombia rounded out the top 10. This will lead us on to our constructors' standings now. 101 points for Aston Martin as they continue to lead the way, with Shoot Fizzle and Hamflap Kelly at the helm. And then we've got Mercedes with 72 points in P2, a fair few points behind now as we get into the halfway point of the season. Sauber coming with P3 with Williams in 4th. Haas now in the round out the top 5 with Red Bull starting to make some points up now that they have Speed Queen as their full-time driver. So we'll see how far Red Bull can climb despite having that early season setback. Alpine in P7 with RB in P8. Ferrari P9 after having a dreadful start to the season, finally getting some points on the board with Funny Wave Band taking that podium. And then we've got McLaren now falling to the bottom of the table with only 3 points to their name. So we are getting into the race, the start of Q2 now. We've got 11 drivers currently on in the session. We should have a couple more by the time we get to the end of Q2, maybe start of Q3, if not the race. We are waiting on 2 drivers to return. But as you say, it's a couple. We've got 2 quality sessions here today. This will currently look at 1 driver, if not 3, by the time we get to the end of the session, with 15 minutes. When we started, we only have 13 minutes. Now, just going to quickly not go to that scene. I didn't mean to do that. we'll go to this bit. There we go. So we do have a couple of drivers currently out on track. I just need to get everything up because that would help. And there we go. So we'll leave that up. So we have a couple of drivers currently out on track. Shoot Fizzle will, I believe, be not Shoot Fizzle. Handflap Kelly should be the first driver who will start their flying lap as we go around the the Shanghai International Circuit for the Chinese Grand Prix into turn 1 now. It's quite a difficult corner to get right considering it's so long and it continues to tighten and tighten as you get through turn 2 into turn 3. Just switch back now as this does the opposite to what turn 1 does and opens up more and more as you get through the corner, and now down towards through turn 4 and into turn 5 to end sector 124-1 in the first sector. As we go onto the exit, seems pretty conservative but no loss of traction, which is a good sign as we go through now the left and the right of turn 6 and turn 7. A bit of back end loss there on the exit of turn 7 as they look to go into the double left hander. It's a very difficult break zone to get right there as we go now down towards the end of sector 2, 51.9 in the first 2 sectors, and we go now through this long right hander. What China is known for, long, well, very long and prolonged corners as we go down this astronomically long back straight. DRS enabled for Handflap Kelly as we go down towards the hairpin now, breaking from about 210 215 miles an hour down to about 40-50 at best as we go through the hairpin, and now into the final corner of that left hander. Very difficult to get right. You've got to try and keep it in the white lines. Handflap Kelly does so, and up to the line does a 32.1. is our first driver to set a lap time. It will be Rupsikola, who will be our second driver to do so. They are on the medium tyres, however, so this might just be a banker. 32.2, only 700ths off Rupsikola in that first part of the session. The Haas of Detective Midge goes to P2 there as they just get ahead of Rupsikola with Shoot Fizzle, I believe, starting their flying lap. It will be Mark Bowler who comes up to the 9, who has invalidated their flying lap. Unfortunately, I believe that might be at the final corner, and that is not what you want to be doing after a whole lap of pushing. So we will jump on now with JPS, who's coming down the back straight now. He will be the next driver to come across the line and set a time. So as we go down towards the hairpin, just does it quite nicely, smooth enough on the throttle as we go up towards the final corner of turn 16. Just got to get it right, very close to that white line there, but lucky, well, skillful to stay within track limits. 31.4 eclipses the first couple of times on the board. Bear in mind, Rupsikola did do that on the mediums, so they have a lot of time involved, but eclipsed them by a good 7 or 8 tenths. We've now got Shoot Fizzle, who is our next, is it next driver? I think it might not be, as we've got Parkstar, Mark Bowler. I'm not sure if he's on that. No, so that will be Shoot Fizzle, currently on a flyer, currently on the medium compound of tyres. Did not seem so confident heading into this race this week, and very much gets that lock up there, showing potential weakness in the Aston Martin's skill, and we might see Shoot Fizzle get a bit of an invalidation there, and that is the first sign of what we've seen from Shoot Fizzle. He's been very, very good and very, very quick throughout the whole season so far. These last 2 races, though, have not gone his way. Last week, he did not show the utter dominance of pace that he had over the rest of the field in the first part of the season with qualifying. And this week invalidates. Yes, he's on the medium, so lower grip. However, it is looking likely his season might come unravelled if he does not start putting in performances like he did in the first part of the season. I believe it will be Parkster who will come across the line next, going through Sector 2 now. Apparently a faster Sector 2 there, yet to be seen as the Sauber goes down towards the hairpin. the barreling down there now will have the DRS all the way down. And where does the Sauber put themselves as we go into the hairpin now? Bit of a wider line to take a bit of a better exit up towards the final corner to maximise speed and progression through the corner. However, goes over the white line. Lucky to not invalidate there, but a 33.2, 1 second off Rupsi-Cola, and that Sauber did not look at its best in that final part of the lap. However, we've now got a couple more drivers yet to set a time. We've got Funny Wave Van, who is looking to be the next one to set a lap time. 45.8 currently on the board, not representative at all. We've seen Funny Wave Van already have a decent amount of pace and having a bit of oversteer there on the exit of turn 3. Not doing so well as we go down towards the hairpin into turn 5, and it's again very not the best of racing lines, but the Funny Way Band looking to try and get his way into Q3. That's the crucial thing. A massive amount of oversteer through the hairpin, and that back end really does not look planted at this point anyway. And now that's Ferrari has no back end grip, and he seems to have burnt up his tyres. This will now go to Marchmeister, who will be our next driver to set a lap time, lock up into the first of the two left-handers at the end of sector 2. We're going to now down towards one of the trickiest parts of the circuit. Well, a lot of this is a very difficult circuit. This low left, because you've got a bit of traction loss there. You've got to be very careful and manage that throttle. However, Marchmeister done an excellent job there to manage to catch that one before it was too late. DRS now down towards the hairpin. Can the Haas manage as we go into the hairpin? Doesn't really have too much show there, just pretty decent. However, a bit of oversteer on exit will not help him. Up towards the line of 6 minutes to go. It's the earliest you've ever seen Marchmaster go for a time. 32.2, 600s behind teammate Detective Midge as we go down, as that is a P4 position, but with a couple drivers still yet to set a lap time. Bekuli in the RB joining the session a bit later than everyone else, comes up to the line. P6 33.2, puts himself 2 thousandths behind the medium runner of Rupsi-Cola, who will look to try and improve that. Mark Baller, I believe, he's just started their lap, so keep an eye on that. Rupsi-Cola will be our next driver to come across the line. The Williams initially set up 32.2 on the mediums. Can they do an improvement? Bit wide there though through the hairpin, not getting the apex there. The understeer not helping the Williams as we go through the final corner, managing to keep it in the white lines quite cleanly there. 31.6, only a tenth and a third off of JPS, if that, as now that puts themselves into P2 as we got a couple other drivers now coming round to start their flying laps. Street Fizzle doing so. Speed Queen will be the next who will be the next driver to cross the line. It will be Mark Bowler who will be the next driver to cross the line on a flying lap, as the Williams just seen his teammate go to P2 there, as the as now will he be able to repeat that or at least get close to that time? Yet to set a time yet, so we only got a couple minutes to go. This will decide whether you will be fighting in that danger zone to be one of the drivers who will not be able to partake in Q3. We are waiting on a couple other drivers to still join, however, as we now go through the hairpin and through the final corner, through the that left-hander is very difficult to get right, if anything. 33.2, right at the bottom of the drivers who have set a representative time. Funny Way Van, like we said earlier, not set that quite yet. So, but only a couple hundredths off of Bekuli and Parkster. So it is still all to play for in that bottom end of the field. And now we have a couple more drivers to come across the line. Shoot Fizzle being one of them. Coming up to the final corner. Does the Aston Martin set a valid lap time? Yes, they do. 32.0, puts himself in P3, only 6 tenths off, and he is on the medium compound of tyres. That's a very good lap there from him, as we've now got Speed Queen as the closest rival to Shoot Fizzle in this race in terms of championship at the moment, with some issues for Gary Gator. As this Red Bull goes fastest in the session, 30.8, goes 6 tenths clear of JPS, who set their time at the start of the session. So track improvement with consistent running has will definitely be playing an effect, as we now have a couple more drivers yet to set an improved lap time. Mark Baller potentially looking to go for one more. Hamflap Kelly currently on an out lap. Shoot Fizzle on a potential in lap. Same with Vekuli. Yeah, he's got low fuel. So will Mark Baller go for another lap? No, they come into the pits. So it will be Parkster who will be the next driver to set a lap time, but goes over the white line as we turn to the cameras there onto them. Only 16 hundredths up on his time. P9 currently needs to get a bit of improvement there to be a bit more safer going through this long right-hander now. So much time can be gained and lost because it gives you all the more momentum onto this long back straight. As we go, DRS enabled for Parkster, and the Sauber will be looking to improve upon their lap time. Going into the hairpin now, goes a bit wide. We've seen a couple of drivers do that one today, and that will definitely be some time lost there for Parkster if they haven't already done so. Run wide on the exit of the hairpin and goes 3.5 tenths quicker, 32.9. However, there's still a lot of time in that for Parkster, and they will know it, as they just glitched back for me. So nice one going. Hamflap Kelly will be the next driver who will cross the line with for a time with just over a minute to go in the session. We've got a couple drivers yet who will be coming across to start their flying laps. Funny Waveband currently the only the driver in P11. Mark Ball and Vekuli both in the pit lanes. They will not be setting other laps. Everyone above them is safe. Hamflap Kelly though looking to improve upon their time. As Shoot Fizzle retires, as they see the top end of the field begin to retire. So it's now Mark Baller or Funny Waveband who will be out of this session. Half a second up though for Hamflap Kelly as we go into the chicane, and the Aston Martin looking to improve upon their position and get ahead of not just their teammate but Rupsi and JPS potentially. Look and get one step closer towards the Red Bull Speed Queen, who looks phenomenal at this stage of the session. As we go into that hairpin now, where does the Aston Martin put themselves? That's a very much a decent line through there. However, is it enough to put themselves right in the mix for the end of the session? Goes 31.7, has lost a little bit of time in that final sector. However, puts themselves just ahead of Shoot Fizzle, and we will now jump to Funny Waveband, who is who's the driver who is currently looking to try and get themselves out of that bottom, out of that elimination zone. Can they get ahead of Mark Baller? Mark Baller currently not setting another lap. They have done with their session, so it's down to whether the Ferrari can get ahead of that Williams. We go into the chicane now, apparently 4 seconds up on their own personal best. Very difficult chicane there as he went a bit wide on entry. That is not what you want to be seeing if you're the Ferrari. As now we go down the long back straight towards the hairpin. He will get DRS open, and we will see if that Ferrari, that Scuderia, can make their way into the top 10 shootout. And we go into the hairpin. Fairly nicely done, much nicer than what we've seen from some other drivers. Just clipping that apex, doing exactly what the car is doing exactly what he wants him to do through the final part of the final corner up to the line. Goes to P8. That eliminates Mark Baller. Funny Waveband into Q3, and that is Q2, the Q2 session, and that will leave Mark Baller out of the session, and anyone else who joins us, Gary Gator being the joining right at the end of session, so he will not take part in Q3. However, he is there for the race finally. But that will be a sign of relief if you're like the likes of Fakuli, who is down in P10 and only just making it through. However, Gary being here now will start right at the back in P12. One more session to go then, 12-minute session for Q3, 10 drivers. We see a supporter of Rubsicola. I believe his brother is in the chat. Welcome to the stream, and we will see whether Rubsicola can show pace that they have shown over the last couple of races and get themselves into another podium, a potential podium position. That's a lot of pace in that one. So we've got 12-minute session now. Q3 is getting underway as we about to get a couple drivers out. We've got Detective Midge, who has unfortunately left the session, so we will give them an invite while we are here. Send Detective Midge a quick invite while we see them are needing to. So everyone now filing out of the pits. Shoot Fizzle being the first to do so, our championship leader, not shy to leaving the pits straight away, as communicating with online servers is having a bubble, so we'll see if that's going to have any effect. And now with these drivers coming out the pit lane, 4 drivers currently out on track, Shoot Fizzle looks to just be a bit more comfortable. Now going on to soft compound tyres, was running on the mediums in Q2, so that time not quite representative of what he will do. And we will get underway very shortly. So Shoot Fizzle coming around that final that now down to this long straight. A couple other drivers such as Funny Wave Band and JPS come out of the pit lane. As now the Aston Martin will look to start their lap time. Will go on board with the Aston Martin. The Aston Martin driver, not the best start to the lap as he goes into the final corner. Just has a bit of an issue there as we go down towards turn 1, where the Aston Martin does a decent turn in. Just got to keep it in there into turn 2, keep it tight, and as we go through turn 3, has to correct though, turned in a bit too early there, comes out and goes back in. It's really pulling that steering as we go down towards the end of sector 1, 23.9 in the first sector into turn 5. And that hairpin just looked planted there as the Aston Martin begins to build confidence as we go through this long left and that long right in sector 2. Very easy to get wrong this braking point here, locking up that front left there, not quite what the Aston Martin would have wanted as we go up towards the end of sector 2, 51.3 in the first 2 sectors, locking up that front left again, vulnerable if I say so myself. It looks to be as we go loud through this long right hander, but be careful with the throttle application, goes onto that grass, turning in so much that will not help his time. Going on that grass, lose maybe a couple hundreds as we're talking about that gap between him and Speed Queen, and being just so close between the 2 on pace. Into the hairpin now, does Shoot Fizzle do what is needed, gets that hairpin right, and now up towards the final corner for the first time in Q3, up to the line. A 31.4 is what they are chasing. However, Shoot Fizzle will probably be able to improve upon that himself. We see his teammate of Ham Flap Kelly will be the next to set a lap time into the hairpin now, running around that apex as we go into the final corner now, up towards the line. Where does the Aston Martin put themselves in comparison to a teammate? Only a couple tenths off them as we go. As he goes into P2. Yes, there's only 2 drivers. However, it's a fairly decent lap time, all things considered. I believe Rubsicola had some sort of issue at the hairpin. I believe they're looking to go again for another lap time, so we'll leave them do it. Well, JPS has invalidated. Funny wave band will be our next driver to cross the lap time as a couple drivers begin to start their laps. So the Ferrari, who just made it into Q3 at the dying moments, can they do them put themselves right up there with the rest of the field of 33.4, puts himself a fair bit, 2 seconds off of Shoot Fizzle. And that Ferrari needs to try and find some sort of improvement. Meanwhile, Vekuli up towards the line. Where does the RB put themselves? 32.6 puts himself into P3, nearly a second off of Hanfat Kelly in P2. Marchmeister will be... No, never mind. It's not Marchmeister. It will be Rubsicola themselves who will be the next driver to cross the start-finish line, as everyone else in front of him is on in-laps or out-laps. So the Williams going through the chicane now. Round this long right-hander, very difficult to get right. However, looks fairly clean in doing so as we go up towards the hairpin now. DRS enabled for the Williams, using up all that remaining battery to ensure the best possible lap time into the hairpin. No sign of lockups there. Perfect, very much a good turn in. No sign of oversteer on either. Speed Queen has left the session. We'll just have to see if they can get in there. However, that final corner is not optimal, and that is a invalidation for the Williams of Rubsicola, and that is very unlucky for them. I am not sure if I have Speed Queen. Do I have... I don't have Speed Queen. Someone else will have to get them in. Unless I can... I don't think I can blind her. Unfortunately, someone else will have to get the Speed Queen back in the session. And we now have a couple drivers coming up to set lap times, as very deep on the hairpin, so deep they went off track. Detective Midge getting not being able to managing to keep it valid, however going off track, certainly going to lose some time there. 32.4. However, what could have been if they didn't go off track and lose a significant amount of time there? Marchmeister in that process, also getting 33.2, putting themselves into P5 now, as a couple drivers are looking to set new lap times. We got JPS, who will be the next driver who will start a lap. Speed Queen rejoins. So that is very unfortunate for the Red Bull, considering they were on a lap. So that would have been could have been a very good lap if anything. However, now they've got reset with 4 minutes 40 to go, and only realistically one shot at pole. JPS though will be starting their flying lap. Can the Mercedes top the timesheets like they did at start of Q2, or will they fall to Shoot Fizzle in the Aston Martin? The Mercedes doing an excellent job through the first couple of corners. Doesn't look too unstable there as we go down towards turn 4 and through turn 5. 24.0 in the first sector. It's just a tenth or two off of what Shoot Fizzle done, as the Mercedes looks to maybe conserve their tyres a little bit and then use them up more at the end of the lap through the left, through the right. You've got to be careful here into this this left-hander, sorry. It's double left, doesn't have any sign of lock up there. Looks quite controlled, if I do say so. 51.2 across the first two sectors, and we go into that chicane. A very wide line, and it made it very tight for this second part, and this long right-hander themselves as now you got a long back straight. DRS just waiting and waiting, using that battery up and waiting until that breaking point will come about now as we go into the hairpin. Just got to get it turned in, misses the apex slightly, but doesn't have too much issue with oversteer. Just has quite a bit of under rotation into the final corner, up to the line, keeps it clean. 31.2 sets the provisional fastest lap time of the session, and we could be provisional pole if it stays like this. We've got a couple more drivers got a couple more drivers to cross the line. Parkster will be the next driver to come up to the line. The mystery machine will aim to get themselves up the order, who haven't set a time. 2.5 minutes to go. Parkster 32.5 puts themselves P5, just a tenth off of Detective Midge in the Haas, and that Sauber looks quite good in at this stage, and really picking up where Gary has fallen due to not being able to join, and that Sauber doing a decent job at this stage. Got a couple more drivers to set lap times. Vekuli will be our next driver to set a lap, as a couple of drivers are going on to their final out laps and final preparation for their final runs in Q3. Vekuli already done so. We're going to go into turn 4. 2 tenths up already in sector 1. Looks for much more improvement. No, the V-carb going through turn 6 and turn 7. That long right hander, just got to get it right again, we say about this, and that braking point is so crucial, because if you run wide onto that curb, you almost get dragged out of the off the race circuit and potential invalidation. Nearly half a second up in the first 2 sectors. Can the RB do much more? Detective Midge has retired, I believe, in the pit lane, so he will stick it with that 32.4. And now Vekuli up towards the line. Can up towards the hairpin now, DRS enabled. Can the RB make significant gains? It looks promising for the RB after the first 2 sectors. Will they continue that couple tenth by couple tenth improvement in the first 2 sectors, with a few more in as we go up to the line? DRS enabled. 31.9, 6.5 tenth improvement, a consistent gain of just over 2 tenths per sector, and Nat puts himself into P4. Vekuli done a very good job there. We've got another couple drivers who are on flying laps, a couple drivers who have are just about starting, and Rupsikola will be the next driver to set a time. No representative time at the moment for the Williams. Can Rupsikola get themselves into that top end of the field where they certainly belong? Will the Williams get their DRS enabled down towards his hairpin once more as the time on the clock runs out? Does the Ferrari get there? No. Funny wave ban will end the session in currently P8, potentially P10 when all is said and done. However, that Ferrari did not get to that line in time. Very unfortunate for Funny Wave ban. Up to the line at 32.6 for Rupsikola, puts herself in P7, and I don't think they will be too happy with that lap in total. However, it does gain them a few positions. However, with though 2 drives behind them currently on a lap, we've got Marchmeister, who looks to improve quite a bit as we go down towards the hairpin. Vekuli gets out the way. It's now clear road to the line for the Haas driver as we go into the final corner of the lap. Can Marchmeister get any sort of improvement up to the line? A 31.0, fastest of all, and I was not expecting that. Is that going to be top by anyone? Shoot Fizzle goes 30.8, and that is the fastest time. Speed Queen up to the line, goes fastest by 0.02 of a second. Speed Queen goes to pole, and I think that is everyone. That is everyone. However, for a brief moment, I thought that was Marchmeister on pole position. However, the 2 at the top of most sessions will top the qualifying session once more. As we go, Speed Queen taking their 2nd pole in a row. Shoot Fizzle only 25 thousandths behind Speed Queen. That is a very close line. Marchmeister only a tenth behind that in P3. JPS in P4. And I need to quickly snip this because otherwise I'll lose it. There you go. And that is Marchmeister P3, JPS P4, Hamlap Kelly P5, Vekuli P6, Detective Midge P7, Parkster P8, Rupsikola P9, Funny Wave Band in 10th place, and that is the session well and truly over. I'll just quickly send this to March Meister to get the grid. Grid if you reset. So that is qualifying over for this session, as everyone will now be leaving to reset the lobby. We need to leave ourselves, actually, that would help. So we will take a couple-minute break and we will be back hopefully in the next few moments. Take a breather, go and get yourself some popcorn, because this is about to be a cinema, hopefully. We'll see you in a second. Ladies and gentlemen, we are back. The race will be getting underway very shortly. I'm seeing a bit of support for various individuals like Speed Queen and Rusicola in the chat, so we will be getting underway very shortly. If you're here, please show your support in the chat. The drivers do look. A lot of the drivers have the stream on, so we'll be looking in the chat. Give them your support. We'll be getting underway for the formation lap in a very short period. And just to remind you that we have Speed Queen on pole position ahead of Shoot Fizzle. Those two first and third in the standings. Gary Gator, our P2 man in the standings, struggled to get connected to the lobby. Down in P12, got a bit of work to do today across the 28 lap race that we have, and we will getting underway very shortly. Pray for Callisto on comms. You and me both, my friend. If Austria is anything to go by, we will be having an absolute cracker. If you did not see Austria, there is highlights on our YouTube channel. Please go and watch it after you've watched this stream, of course. You've got 28 laps of racing yet to come. So if you are ready, you're excited, please let's say in the chat, because we are about to get underway. Let's have a look at the tyre strategies. We've got a mixture of medium and a mixture of hard tyres. We've got most of the grid on hard, however 4 drivers. Buck this trend because we've got Shoot Fizzle, JPS and Black Kelly and Gary Gator on the medium compound of tyres. The remainder of the field: Speed Queen, Marchmeister, Vekuli, Detective Midge, Parks on Rusicola, Mark Ball on Funny Wave Band, all on the hard compound of tyres as we are about to get underway. We've got 20 as a lot of the field is very spread out as we get ourselves around the end of the formation lap. We'll need to potentially bring this field back closer once more because the drivers at the front, particularly the hard runners, will be having a difficult time getting across the line. However, we have a mixture of strategies, so this could all peter out a bit like an F2 race where you have the soft and the medium runners all split, and then towards the end or towards a certain point in the race, probably the second, third, we'll see everyone, well, the last part of the race get become a little bit closer. As we can see, F1 giving us the best camera angles we could possibly ask for, so we're going to go on with Marchmeister for this race start. The last driver coming up to the grid now as we are about to get underway. The session just giving itself a moment and loading. Here we go. We're going to go to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 red lights for the Chinese Grand Prix for Neo round 7, and it's lights out and away we go. Decent start from all 3 of the top runners. However, we are getting no good camera angles into turn 1. Shoot Fizzle gets away well and he gets into the lead straight away. Up the inside goes JPS on Speed Queen. The mediums have fired up very nicely there. Potentially a 3rd position dropped to Vekuli, who's made an excellent start. No, it doesn't. Speed Queen manages to keep hold of the final podium spot. However, Shoot Fizzle and JPS getting excellent start on their mediums. There's contact at the back of the field. That is Marchmeister, who started in 3rd. It's downhill to that Ferrari as well of Funny Wave Band being collected in some turn 5 chaos as we now go through sector 2. Potential damage from multiple cars as we go back to the back of the field. We've got Parkstar up to P8. We've got a fight between them, Mark Baller, Funny Wave Band in the battle for the lower half of the field. It's Sauber Williams at the for 6 through 9. However, we've got a battle between Parkstar and Mark Baller up the inside. Potential for Mark Baller, bit wide there from Parkstar. Collisions through the corner. They're both continuing to collide. However, there is another battle going on. There is JPS. There is Shoot Fizzle battling out for the race in there side by side. Parkstar continues through to P8. And now Shoot Fizzle, JPS side by side. JPS, our championship winner from season 3. Shoot Fizzle looks to topple him at this stage as we now go into the final corner to end the opening lap. A bit of chaos put into the hand flap. Kelly moving up to the podium place. However, we've got drivers side by side as we go into turn 1. It's a battle for the race lead. Shoot Fizzle moves back to P1 after a brief moment with it lost as JPS is now trying to defend and attack at once as we go through turn 3 and into 8 now. Down towards the flat turn 4 and into the hairpin of turn 5. Can JPS get back by the medium runner Shoot Fizzle? Hand flap Kelly also on the mediums. It's now 3 medium runner podium, medium runner podium at this stage. However, Speed Queen is going to keep up with them as we go through the 6 and turn 7. Slalom can Shoot Fizzle defend. He gets a bit of a lock up there though. JPS looks much more comfortable for the Mercedes over the Aston Martin. However, another lock up there for Shoot Fizzle. He does not look comfortable. Goes a bit wide there into the chicane. This might be JPS's opportunity to get by. DRS for the Mercedes will be at this stage. However, we have now lost Gary Gator, who will try and get back through shortly. However, we've got JPS side by side with Shoot Fizzle. Down the back straight, DRS for them. Hand flap Kelly will have DRS but not be able to do too much. Shoot Fizzle tries to brake later. Unfortunately, there's not much they can do as Shoot Fizzle, as JPS had the inside and took the lead at the final corner. Bit wide there for hand flap Kelly, who almost goes into the back of their own teammate. DRS for Shoot Fizzle as we aim to get back into that race lead. Things may quieten down here as they're going to go nose to tail through this part of the corner, and we're going to quickly get Gary back into the session if we can find him. Where's he gone? Hold on, I'll just try to find. Not sure, I can't find him in a minute, but he's not online at this stage, so we've got a couple of drivers just waiting. We've got maybe try and get him back very shortly. If you're Gary and you're listening, just give us a message in comms if you're back online, because I cannot see you. So you got Shoot Fizzle leading the way now. JPS in P2 and P3 for Handclap Kelly Speed Queen sitting there in P4. There's a bit of a gap there between them and the P5 P6 battle as we go through this long right hand, and now the battle for the Haas's in P11 and P12. They're trying to fight their way back into the points, but the battle for P1 rages on. 4 drivers, potentially 6, as we continue to fight. JPS DRS as he goes flying by into P1. Rupsicola makes a move on Vekuli for P5 into the top 5 now for the Williams, as we now see JPS get his way into the lead. Shoot Fizzle looks to try and manage it once more, and now can he get by? It's just going to be another DRS overtake here for Shoot Fizzle. Both managing, trying to make sure they don't lose out position to the drivers behind. At this stage, we're now going to go into the long turn 1 and 2. Hand flap Kelly and Speed Queen go side by side. A bit of contact in the middle of the corner. However, no damage, hopefully, for either driver. However, both will have lost momentum at this stage and into turn 5. Sorry, lock up, massive lock up there from Shoot Fizzle? Yes, not Shoot Fizzle, it's JPS. What am I going on about? JPS locking up, almost going to the back of our championship leader. However, he is very lucky to get away with that. I'm just going to see if he's back online. Gary back online. Just quickly send him an invite. Hopefully he'll be able to get back in very shortly. Unfortunately he wasn't online before, so I don't know where he went, but Shoot looking to try and defend his position once more, as we see 5 drivers, 6 drivers all within this DRS train. However, one of them, Vekuli, is starting to fall off the back of it as we go down towards here. Gary now back in the session. He's luckily in P7. However, he will have some ground to gain. JPS and Shoot Fizzle side by side into the hairpin. Shoot Fizzle defended to the inside. However, he's gone absolutely miles off the circuit. As that has now not just dropped in one position, not just two, but three. As there's a bit of contact there between Speed Queen and Shoot Fizzle. Our front row drivers have just made a massive amount of contact there. And luckily for both of them, they both come away relatively unscathed. However, Shoot Fizzle very much losing ground here, down to P5 as Rupsi Cola moves his way up to P4. JPS and Handflap Kelly side by side. Can Handflap Kelly get his way to the race lead as we go down towards the hairpin? He's got the inside. Does the Aston Martin take what was once his teammates and was JPS's? Yes, he does. Handflap Kelly to the race lead, and now we're going to go down towards this long left-hander. We're side by side, but we was side by side. Speed Queen and JPS. However, JPS manages to keep position. However, we are now continuing on. It's Handflap Kelly leading the way ahead of JPS, ahead of Speed Queen. Rupsi Cola maintains P4 with Shoot Fizzle in P5, our championship leader, not having the best of times there as we go into the chicane now. Can Handflap Kelly defend from JPS? It's going to be very difficult to do so with how close that Mercedes is lurking. However, we'll continue on. We're going to go down the straight now. DRS will be available in a matter of moments. However, JPS will use it. They will all activate it, all behind Handflap Kelly. Can Handflap Kelly not defend just from one driver, but potentially two? He can't defend from JPS. However, it's going to be Speed Queen. He'll be managed to defend from. There's a bit of damage there as a couple drivers go into one another. That's Speed Queen who's got damage, and that is JPS who was sent half spinning. And that is not what you'll be seeing if you're the champion, if you're those two. As Handflap Kelly manages to keep the lead. However, Shoot Fizzle is going to take the race lead away from his teammate in matter of moments. This race has just flipped from one to another. Here comes Rupsi Cola from not just one Aston Martin, but potentially two. We're going to see contact there as Shoot Fizzle and Rupsi Cola force each other off the road. And that is not what you'll be seeing. Everything is turning on its head. As we now, Handflap Kelly, JPS, and there's more contact. Handflap Kelly's round, JPS takes the lead after contact. Speed Queen, this is utter chaos, guys. Sort it out. As we go now down towards this long left hand, this is all allowed Gary Gator, who was in P7 by about 3 seconds, and now he is back in this fight. It's gonna be Rupsi Cola moves his way back by Vakuli, who really was not caught up in all that. Here comes Gary as well. Both of them two not really caught up in all this situation. However, it's gonna be Gary up the inside of Vakuli. He makes that move clean, and now he's got his old rival from the last couple of races right in front of him. Rupsi Cola and Gary Gator getting into it in the last part of the race. And last couple of races, and now it's gonna all settle down a little bit more. JPS and a Speed Queen gonna lead the way. There's a bit of contact in the last couple laps, however it seems to relatively calm down damage for Speed Queen. Shoot Fizzle back up to P3 and Rupsi Cola down to P4. Gary Gator now, after starting in P12 and a disconnect, fastest lap of the race for the man we are speaking of, the Mystery Machine on a charge, and Gary, who started down the back, looks to be comfortable as ever. Round the outside goes Rupsi Cola. That will go to Shoot Fizzle, and Shoot Fizzle will drop down to P4. Gary actually getting caught up a little bit in that due to them two fighting. However, Shoot Fizzle to the outside, locks up very late under brakes, and those two very lucky to get that clean. I thought that gap was closing, however not quite, but Rupsi Cola defending into P3, and these drivers are absolutely pushing each other to the limit. We're now going to go back to the battle, as the battle for the race lead is all in this top 5. We've got every driver in that top 5 covered within that DRS window. However, Vakuli has dropped back now. As now we get a little breather, as because before we go on to that DRS straight, damage for Speed Queen is certainly hampering the Red Bull, as that DRS potentially is about to be lost. Luckily for them, they are still within DRS on the detection, and they'll use that to gain back on JPS. However, the battle for the race, now top 2 in the championship are now closing and closing. These are our top 5 in the championship, all fighting for hammer and tong. Unfortunately for Handpap Kelly, that all that commotion that happened on the previous couple laps has dropped them back a couple of seconds and down to P7. Hopefully they can get themselves back up the order as Vikuli goes into the pits on lap 8. Interesting to see what his pit call is, as now we settle in to a little bit more of a rhythm now. I need a drink after that. Jesus Christ. So, P1 as Marchmaster actually is going to make a move on his teammate, no less. We're going to go back to this battle. P8, P9, Detective Midge, Marchmaster, having a race to their life. They got past a couple of drivers. Now they're into the points. They were ones at the back. However, these two will continue to fight. Detective Midge and Marchmaster seem very well matched for each other at this moment in time. However, we will have to head back to the race lead because we have JPS leading by just over half a second. However, it is very close between them, the top 3, and Gary and Shoot Vizzle, our 2 championship contenders. Potentially 3 if you include Speed Queen, our top 2 in the championship, looking to fight. Lock up there from Shoot Vizzle. There's going to be a cutback from Gary. Gary will have the DRS. I'm not sure if Shoot Vizzle managed to have it though on Rupsikola and Rupsikola in front. Gary gets to P4. And now it will be DRS for Gary and no DRS for Shoot Vizzle. That is costly. He's going to defend to the inside as Shoot looks to try and outbrake him. However, that lock up, that front left is going to have a massive dent in it by the time we get to the end of this stint. However, it is now beginning to get closer and closer at the front because here comes Speed Queen. He's going to, as JPS looks to defend, and luckily for them, not having to do much, as Speed Queen just sticking right to the back, causing more pressure as we go through the next part of the lap. We're now on lap 9 of 28. We felt like we've had about 50 laps of worth of battles in the space of that time. However, this is only just heating up as we go down through turn 7 and turn 6 and turn 7. Can Speed Queen find the way by get prepared for the DRS zone even, because these drivers are right on the back of one another. Gary, who's got by Shoot Vizzle, who's not having the best of time of things. Gary is absolutely coming at the Aston Martin. Not coming out, pulling away from the Aston Martin as he's coming up the top 3. Shoot does not look nearly as comfortable. I don't know if he has any sort of damage or if it's the tyres just going for him. But here we go. Speed Queen looks to take away the race lead. It is now P1 for the Red Bull, side by side between the Williams and the Mercedes. It is very much in flying formation there. But we're now going to go potentially 3 wide. No, we do not, as everyone files into a relatively respectful position. However, this has drawn Gary right back into it. Here, and Shoot Vizzle goes into the pits. Speed Queen looks to defend as it looks to be just enough as Rupsikola not able to do much. Or is he? Because he's going to go around the outside, potentially looking to make a move as look up the inside. That was very ballsy. However, it is not enough. Shoot Vizzle, our championship leader, has decided to retire in the pits. I wonder if he had any damage that was causing him, and that leaves one Aston Martin left. Up the inside goes Gary Gator on JPS, and he takes the final podium spot, as this championship has been driven wide open now because Shoot Vizzle's out. These guys will be wanting to maximise because they want to be able to take advantage of Shoot Vizzle's retirement. So now we've got 18 laps and a bit left of this race. Speed Queen looks to defend from Rupsikola in P2. As now, can Rupsikola get by, or will Gary Gator, who has been on an absolute charge for this race and has not let off as we now go down the straight, it will be DRS for the three behind the Red Bull, but will the Red Bull be able to defend? The bear in mind, Speed Queen is on those hard compound of tyres. I believe none of the others are, as we see Gary go for a move on JPS runs a bit deep. That braking point was certainly not there for the Mercedes. However, they continue to go side by side into the final corner. The run from the Mercedes might have been a bit of a masterclass as we go into that final corner, and he takes back the final podium spot. However, Gary Gator looks to try and make it as Rupsicola up the inside for the race lead. Is that all she wrote? As now Rupsicola takes the race lead away from Speed Queen. As at the moment it is not over, considering we've got over half the race to go, and these drivers are absolutely flying. Hammer and Tom, as Speed Queen drops down to P2, JPS back up to P3, Gary down to P4. We'll just quickly have a look on what tyres these guys are on. Gary and JPS on the mediums, therefore they will have to pit early, and their tyres will begin to die off sooner than the top two. 3 second time penalty for Handpap Kenny is our only time penalty of the race so far. We will see if that changes as the race continues on. However, these four are going to give us absolute cinema. We are now continuing through to the chicane. Can Rupsicola and Speed Queen get themselves a good pull away, or will they falter to the drivers behind them? They all have DRS except for the Sol Williams of Rupsicola. Down the straight towards the hairpin. Can Speed Queen find his way by? Yes, they do. As we go into P1, however, there is a battle between Gary and JPS. They get so close to the back of Rupsicola, past of the next 3 second time penalty, and Gary's teammate down in P10. Not having the best of races. Gary into the pit, pulls the pin, and we'll see whether the Sauber gets the way through. Meanwhile, here comes Rupsicola for P1. Can he make the move stick? As he goes up the inside and makes it stick. Oh, and here comes Speed Queen, who does the cut under. Will look to cut under once more, try and get the run. However, the Williams is doing an absolute fantastic job. As we go into turn 5, here comes Speed Queen, tries to make a dive bomb. Rupsicola has to leave a bit of room there in case of it. However, Speed Queen not able to do much. JPS looking to make an attack. However, it is just the remaining line astern for this top three. They've got to be careful though, because Gary is going to aim to do an undercut. They cannot afford to fight too much. If anything, they will want to work together to stop the advancement of that great mystery machine. As we go down towards the end of Sector 2 to start Sector 3, can Rupsicola defend, or will they just switch back and forth? Parkster retires. That is not what you will be seeing if you're Gary. That is a safety car, and that will help everyone get back, and Gary leaves the session, and that is absolutely turned Gary's race on its head. These three will be able to all come into the pits. However, it may be not quite right time for Speed Queen and Rupsicola. We're going to quickly get Gary back in the session if we can. However, that safety car completely turns the race on its head, as everyone will obviously dive into the pit lane, as these top three will know. The Speed Queen and Rupsicola will go onto the medium compound of tyres. JPS will go onto the hards. And this could, while they will have track position, they will need to try and pull away a little bit more. We see a front wing change there from Speed Queen as well. That will drop them down to P3. Potentially more if they're not, if they can. Actually, I think they've just got through okay. However, it's all eyes are on whether Gary can pull their way by. Rupsicola will come out in the lead of this race. However, that damage from Speed Queen will drop them down to P4. Gary up to P3. JPS up to P2. And Rupsicola remains in P1 for this safety car. However, the field will tighten back up once more. We will see everyone go on to a new set of tyres. I believe Vekuli will do the same thing as well. for the second half of the race. This is almost like a stage caution, as they call it in NASCAR, because it's the end of stage 1. We are now on stage 2 of the race, because now we've got half the race distance to go. By the end of this, we're seeing Vekuli go into the pits as well, so we've got a fairly long safety car ahead of us. However, the only 3-second time penalty now left in the race is Handblock. Kelly's Parker has retired from the session. That's 2 drivers out of the race. However, we will see a lot of racing yet to come. 8 positions gained for Rupsikola, only topped by the 9 positions gained by Gary Gator. 5 positions apiece gained by Funny Banner Mark Baller, 2 JPS, 1 lost for Detective Midge, 3 lost for Speed Queen, 4 lost for Marchmaster Handblock Kelly and Vekuli. However, they're all still in the race. They're all looking to gain points, particularly that top 4 looking to gain points on Shoot Fizzle, who's our championship leader and retired. If we look quickly while we're in this safety car period at our championship standings, Shoot Fizzle only leading away by 16 points over Gary Gator, and that's everyone in that top 5 from 2nd to 5th looking to gain quite significantly. JPS a good 35 points back, but if he wins today will be 25 15 16 points behind heading into next race. If any of these drivers win, they could certainly help himself back into this race, this championship hunt. Gary Speed Queen could potentially take the championship lead. I'm wrong. Gary could potentially take the championship lead. Speed Queen and Drupsikola could potentially sit themselves very nicely into that championship fight. It is all going to happen in the second half of this race. And now we've got this safety car still underway. Vekuli pits once more as they decided to make it a free stop for this race. Try and do a Jensen button potentially, we'll see. But half the race still to go, and it's all not over yet. Ugh, I need a drink, Jesus. So, with it being Rupsikola who leads the way, can the Williams take their first race victory of the season? Can JPS reclaim the top set after a number of races away from it? Can Gary Gator take it after being the runner-up to the P4 driver of Speed Queen, who won last time out in Austria? We have got we're just now waiting on one driver to come back out. Be Vekuli. We are now just waiting on, as hopefully we'll get to the end of this. We'll get to the end of this safety car very, very shortly. And we may have another person join the session. So we might have a second commentator join the session in an old friend of mine. Got some down on comms with that SC. Honestly, it's a blessing in disguise. It gives me a moment for breather. However, we have everyone now at the back of the field, and now we should get underway. So we will just get the end. This will be our last time under safety car, as we should be getting underway very, very shortly for this race. However, not really much left to say really. We really need to get back underway because we've got Rupsikola who leads the way. However, the tyre strategy is an interesting one. Got JPS and Gary Gator, the only 2 drivers left on the hards. This will come back to favour them at the end of the race. However, we will see if that is the case, or whether the mediums do manage to go the distance. We'll have to see and find out. So we will have the safety car in this lap, and we'll be getting underway very shortly. Rupsicola will lead the charge. When does the Williams go? As we will be getting underway. I just need to check. Hold on 1 second. There we go. Add them up here. So we'll be getting underway very shortly. So we'll be getting underway very shortly. Everyone will be weaving and weaving and weaving. So Rupsicola will lead the way. When does they go? The Williams will pull away right now, and JPS will try and follow suit very quickly as we go. 3 seconds, I believe, for Mark Bowler as we go around that final corner. That is not what you want to be seeing if you are the Williams, as Rupsicola does a decent getaway though and manages to stay ahead of the Mercedes off the line. However, Gary Gayer is looking to try and get by JPS as quickly as possible. Marchmeister makes their way up the P6 ahead of Mark Bowler. Can the Haas continue to find a way up the field as everyone now settles into a little bit more of a rhythm as we go through everyone settles into a little bit of a rhythm as Rupsicola looks to try and just extend their gap as we go down towards the chicane. Can the Williams get out of that DRS before DRS is enabled at the end of this lap? JPS doing an excellent job though, using the slipstream, using the toe as well, and using that ERS to perfection as we continue down towards the hairpin. It is slipstream only at this stage, however it could be more so because here comes JPS just looking and looking and looking to get closer. However, there's not much he can do at this stage. That medium tyre on the car of Rupsicola is doing a fantastic job. We go down through the final corner to end lap 16 and start lap 17. Fastest lap of the race for the Williams of Rupsicola, who leads the way. However, everyone sits a line astern into turn one. Can the Mercedes find their way by? And now Gary is just trying to find their way by on JPS not really having quite the pace of that Williams currently due to those that tyre compound deficit that Rupsicola may be able to get out that 1 second window. He's only got a tenth and a half to do so. It is getting closer and closer. However, he's running out of time because Gary is on the hunt of JPS. This could help Rupsicola if JPS makes some sort of error into the chicane. He's currently out of the second window, but will it be so in the detection point? 3 second time penalty for funny wave band. We're now going to go round this long right-hander. Difficult to get the throttle application right. However, it might just be enough if JPS has gone out of DRS. Has he done so? He has. JPS has lost DRS to Rupsicola. Perfect storm there. However, this DRS from Gary is going to help him get back in the DRS of Rupsicola, because now these guys are going to slipstream one another, try and get back towards the Williams, and all that work from Rupsicola has just pretty much been undone with a single straight as Gary, fastest lap of the race in the process, taken away from Rupsicola. We're going to go into turn one now. Gary, P2. Our P2 man in the standings looks to topple Shoot Fizzle and take that championship lead away. A championship lead that has been held since race 1. We are race 7. It could be time. Rusicola, though, has become a nuisance, as we said, on time and time again for Gary. However, these two could have lit sparks, and this could be a great race. We now see him. Gary just try and close that gap. However, he's not doing enough, as Speed Queen is all over the back of JPS in this situation. JPS not quite having the DRS at this stage, as Speed Queen looks to defend. Attack, as JPS looks to defend. However, JPS is right on the back of Gary. Gary must have had some sort of error. Neither of them going to have. Gary's not going to have DRS here. JPS will fly back by, as Rupsicola has had another lap where he can just sit and look pretty. We're going to go 3 wide into the hairpin. Can he make it look? As Gary looks to try and get by JPS, as JPS long as he has the previous time round. Here we go into turn 1. He continues on, and there's not much Gary could do into turn 1. However, there's going to be something Speed Queen could do about the Sauber as we go down through the tightest part of the circuit. And Gary just managing to defend that. However, Speed Queen is all over the Sauber as we go down towards turn 5. And that's the Speed Queen into P3. Excellent job there by the Red Bull. And now they're going to set their sights on JPS, who is only a couple tenths up the road. However, 1.1 seconds up the road is Rupsicola on the mediums, trying desperately to get away. But at this stage, it seems like that DRS is lost to JPS unless those tyres. Oh, he's actually just got in there, got in that DRS of Rupsicola potentially. Looking likely. Rupsicola can try and get one. Oh, perfect. Second. Set that. Quickly reset. F6. There we go. You might have just got a sneak peek there of who may or may not be joining us. Rupsicola looks to had a bit of a wide moment there as we go into the final corner. He will JPS will now have DRS and be well within it at this stage. Vekuli makes the position on Hanfap Kelly, who drops down to P9. However, Hanfap Kelly tries to make the move back up to P8, and that is actually very good defending there from Hanfap Kelly. And at the moment, his lovely soothing voice as we go on to lap 20. At the end of lap 20, can Rupsicola defend Hanfap Kelly and makes his way up past Mark Baller. However, that DRS for JPS is going to allow him by around the outside into the hairpin, and Rupsicola drops away from P1 and down to P2. JPS moves his way back up there, and those hards are certainly coming in dividends. And I would like to say a very warm welcome to kotks. Welcome back to Neo, my friend, if you're about.
I'll bring it up for the first time. I was supposed to be coming in at the end of this race to speak about myself and be very selfish in describing, but today, or tomorrow technically, is my 1 year anniversary on commentary. My debut doing commentary was the Austrian Grand Prix in season 2, which was 1 year ago tomorrow. So hello, thank you very much for having me. And I'm sure we'll speak about that more post-race. But let's dive straight into the action on lap 21 or 28. And there is certainly action going on between 8th and 9th. Mark Baller and Vekuli getting their elbows out as they're scrapping away. But the battle at the top is just about to ignite. They're about to get into the DRS. I'm sure we'll be watching again a swap for the lead. JPS, is he going to make that move for the lead? Yes, indeed, he is. Speed Queen could be trying to fight her ways through as well. But she's just going to sit in behind Marchmeister, using that DRS to get past Funny Wave Band. And it's all change within the top 6.
Yeah, JPS looking to try and keep hold of that lead. However, Rupsicola denies the Mercedes that long at the front of the field, and Rupsicola retakes the lead. That Williams looks absolutely looks to have that DRS overtake into turn 1 certainly has a good exit out of that final corner. And now JPS looks to try and get back by him. He's going to go around the outside into the hairpin. Can the Mercedes get by? There's a bit of contact mid-corner, and that could really, that could be potential damage to either driver on the side pods. Maybe not. But Rupsicola has lost the position once more to JPS, and he's going to have to now defend to Speed Queen. Can Speed Queen get up the inside? No, they cannot. Rupsicola manages to defend that. However, this could be, this is now becoming more and more of a struggle for the two drivers in the middle of this hard tyre sandwich, because their tyres are going to begin to fall off anytime in the next couple of laps, while those hards continue to pound round.
Yeah, and well, it's going to be a battle of different strategies at this point with those hards. They will last to the end of the race, but can those medium runners stretch those stints as long as the end of the race? Speed Queen pulling to the inside line of Rupsicola, but then going very wide as she tried to back out of the move on Rupsicola and dropping down to 4th place. It's a 4-car battle for this lead, and Speed Queen has just found herself right at the rear. Garrigator, though, going wide out of the final corner, and so this battle is not yet at its end. Speed Queen looking to the inside, possibly again shaping a move up, but unable to make it stick. JPS and Rupsicola fighting once again for this race lead, and they're certainly not going to give this one up in a hurry. Rupsicola takes it. Jay will be forced to give it up for at least another few corners, and the Williams retakes P1. This is his time now to try to burst away, as this is about the cutoff point where those mediums are about to start to fall off.
Yeah, that Williams just doing an immaculate job in terms of an attack and also defence in some areas. That he has caused problems for multiple drivers throughout the field in the last number of races. And now, can Rupsicola defend once more from JPS? JPS looks to have begun to have an edge. At the end of the safety car, Rupsicola managed to pull away, but not anymore. That tyre advantage has certainly disappeared. Garrigator, though, is going to cause a bit of havoc for JPS, because that mystery machine is going to try and find his way by, because that with that DRS. However, the defence for JPS is an attack, because Rupsicola is going to have to defend to the inside. No DRS for him. The Mercedes to the outside will take the lead away from the Williams once more. Garrigator will have to sit in P3 as well and just watch as things unfold in front of him, hoping for a opportunity to strike as we end lap 23. Speed Queen takes an opportunity to strike. Gary runs wide. I'm not sure if there's any contact there, but Gary goes a bit wide at the final corner, and that's lost in position. Here comes Rupsicola up the inside and retakes the lead. Gary has left the session. We'll have to see if we can quickly try and get him back in, but unfortunately he might drop out of this lead battle, and that is absolutely devastating for the Sauber driver.
Yeah, you can imagine it is, because now he's going to lose that advantage that he had by being in that DRS range. I can invite him, so don't worry about pausing the stream, because I luckily have Gary. I've luckily been around these digs. I've been around the block a little bit with Neo Racing League in mind. And now 1.7 seconds back. I think he's going to struggle to get back in it, to be honest. He's rejoined the session, and now the chase is on. 2.1 seconds between Garrigator and Speed Queen for 4th and 3rd. There is yellow flags out, as that is for, I believe, Detective Midge down at the bottom of the field, who hasn't lost out too badly and has only just dropped out of the DRS of Muck Ball. And now we head down onto the back straight one more time. Why not? We're going to head onto the back straight. We're going to head to some more battles, as JPS right behind Rupsicola might not even need the DRS, but it'll aid him in making that move back up to the lead of the race and taking P1. Speed Queen staying behind. This is not her fight just yet. That will come in the next couple of laps. But at the moment, she is just waiting behind, trying to conserve those tyres as much as she can. And we head on to lap 25 now of this Grand Prix. And Rupsikola with that DRS looking to fight back with JPS down the inside line. He's going to go into turn number 1. And it's sealed. Nice and simply. Jay will get the traction on the exit. But, well, he won't actually, because he's had it broken somehow trying to go for a move on Rupsikola. And he's tucked back in. And that opened up the door to Speed Queen. These three, just they're scrapping away. They're taking some opportunities in this race. And I'm sure there's going to be lots and lots more opportunity to come.
Yeah, absolutely. JPS looked to try and cut and try and get back on it. Here comes Speed Queen up the inside into turn 6, maybe trying to make JPS have an error. The error was from Rupsikola, who almost got overtaken by JPS in the following corner. Rupsikola does not look to have quite the grip. With these guys free fighting, though, this is going to allow Gary, who's been having issues with connectivity all race, back into this fight slowly and more and more. It could be opportunity to come for the Sauber, but in the dying stage of the race, you're going to see these drivers get a little bit more desperate because they want this race win. They know they need to maximise all their points possible, because shoot Fizzle being out of this race, this could be it. JPS making his way into the lead on lap 25 into the hairpin. Easier said as done, because that it was done well before the braking zone. Can Rupsikola though get back to the race lead? We're going to see go around the final corner again. Line astern at this stage. However, can the Williams get close enough? He's not very close actually, because here comes Speed Queen. Speed Queen looks to try and have a move. Unfortunately, too far back. But Rupsikola has a good amount of speed through that corner, but has so much speed, he tags the back of the Mercedes, and that allows Speed Queen to dart up the inside, potentially looking for a move. And luckily for Rupsikola, that Speed Queen unable to do anything about it, and that's to the outside, to the inside, makes a switch, and there's a bit of contact, and both of them almost round that Speed Queen, very much around, does a full 360, and that is really ended Speed Queen's chances at the race win. Rupsikola has dropped down by half a second. It's now become more or less a 1v1 for this last couple laps, but at the moment JPS looks to be the favourite on tyre life and speed.
Definitely at the moment now, 7/10 almost ahead of Rupsikola. But the DRS will go the Williams' way as we head down the back straight. It's been a shortened DRS zone than it was when it was first released, which, brings some advantages, because now they are going to take a lot less time, as that's... a lot less time out of each other, as that was our steward leaving the session, so I'm hoping that he can get back in nice and quickly. But Rupsikola now 9/10 behind Jay. So slow through the final snail on the corner, snail on the track. And, he's now out of the DRS range. He does not have it down the straight. JPS could have sealed this with 2 laps to go. And this could be the victory for the Mercedes.
Yeah, absolutely. But at this point, with 2 laps to go, Rupsikola, his tyres must be screaming as we go into the penultimate lap. JPS looks to be comfortable, hasn't really put a foot wrong for the most part of the race, and to be honest, he's been up there for the whole time. Rupsikola managing to get through the field, however, having contact here or there, that potentially cost him. Funny wave ban, 3-second time penalty for track limits, but down in last place, will not be losing any positions at this stage. However, Rupsikola just looks like it is slipping through his fingertips. JPS looking more stronger and stronger by the second, as Gary closes in as well on the P2 man in the Williams. Speed Queen just falling a second half shy of the Sauber of Gary Gator, as everything just seems to have just quietened down a little bit after 27 and a half laps. It's finally quieting down a little bit as we go down the straight once more. DRS for Gary will bring them closer and closer as we go down towards the hairpin for the penultimate time.
Yeah, the penultimate time. We will head on to the final lap as we got yellow flags. Funny Wave Band was in the DRS of Mark Buller. Now he is very much out of it and down in that final position. But if he continues and finishes this race, there will be points going the Ferrari's way, or a singular point will be going the Ferrari's way. The last lap beckons for JPS, who has been so dominant in this race, but P2 could be up in the air. Gary Gator to the inside, switcher to the outside, and it could be a switchback for Gary Gator if he can get the traction on the exit, and what a move it would be. But no cigar for Gary Gator, and he's going to have to try again in sector number 2, or maybe leave it all so late, leave it down to the final straight. But of course, that means that he's going to have to trust himself and his setup, that he will be prepared to make that move. And he's just at the moment staying behind, setting it up. P2 is not yet decided.
Yeah, absolutely. We're going to go down towards the end of Sector 2 for the final time as JPS looks comfortable, but the battle for second, third and fourth is not settled yet. Up the inside goes Gary Gator, but he can't do anything there. However, a bit of a difficulty there on the exit for Ripsicola. Back end being hit by Gary. This could potentially not just be one position lost, but 2, leaving it off the podium entirely, as Gary will go by for P2. Will Speedqueen go by for P3. We're going to see as we go down towards the hairpin, Gary manages to keep the position, but Ripsicola keeps his nose in. Unfortunately for him, not able to do much. We'll go back to the race lead as JPS takes the Chinese Grand Prix victory for round 7. Across the line goes Gary for P2. Ripsicola comes home in 3rd. P4 for Speed Queen after an excellent, a titanic fight between the 4 of them and Shoot Fizzle as well early on in the race. March Hustler comes home in P5. P6 for Vekalu. P7 for Detective Midge, P8 for Handflap Kelly, P9 for Mark Baller, and Funny Wave Band will come home in P10. But what a race! We said Austria will probably never be topped, but I mean, this race was very much close to it.
Yeah, I think I might have quite ambitiously, as I consider it afterwards, called the Neo Racing League race around Austria the greatest race that you will see. It was actually the best league race you will ever see, is what I called it. I mean, this one, it's going to run it close. And it's not something you see very often around China. You don't see particularly close racing, but that's certainly what we got tonight. And these top 4, especially Rupsicola, Gary Gator, Jay, and Speed Queen, as well as Shoot Fizz, who did not race tonight, should set up an incredible championship. Oh, he did race. He DNF'd. Should set up an incredible race tonight, as well, JPS will take home almost the full points. Gary Gator will take home the fastest lap. But that is your Chinese Grand Prix. Those are your results, and JPS sitting atop.
Yeah, JPS doing an excellent job to take victory. Only one in the sprint race in Abu Dhabi has now taken victory on track in China. And this is absolutely what these drivers needed. A decent result to end the race this weekend, this race week, with Shoot Fizzle out of the race. They all tried to maximise, but only one could. And it was an excellent job from JPS. He pulled away at the end and just took advantage of incidents between Speed Queen and Ripsicola. And now is a massive chunk closer to his championship, to the championship lead.
Of course, but always these sorts of races could be changed by reports. There could have been some sort of thing thrown into the mix. So keep an eye out on the channel. Subscribe while you're here, because there will be highlights within the next few days, or within the next week at least, to look out for. And I edit them, so I will take full credit for that. But yeah, there we go. What a race that we had around the Chinese Grand Prix. And that is your order at the end of it. So JPS taking that race victory home, and he'll be hoping to take the momentum into the next round of the season.
Well, I've just had confirmation on the provisional championship tables from my producer. as Shoot Fizzle will continue to lead the way by a single point over Gary Gator. As now Gary not being able to take victory just unfortunately sits shy. However, that gap is certain. That championship fight is certainly intensifying. JPS will now move up to P3 ahead of Rupsicola in fourth. Speed Queen will come home in fifth, but all them drivers are now within 19 points of one another. I'm now going to start doing interviews, and we'll get our... who should we get? We need to get in JPS first, so let's quickly bring him into the channel. There we go. JPS, can you hear me? Might need to unmute your mic. But hopefully you can hear me. Can you hear me?
Yes, 5 out of 5.
Congratulations on winning that race. An absolutely intense race. How are you feeling after that?
Jeez, my nerves are up, man. It was very intense, a lot of defending, and yeah, it was just scary because getting to know the guys' braking zones was very difficult. Some brake much earlier, some later. So you see, I tried to be careful, but there were some scrapes, and yeah, I don't know. It was just a difficult race, man.
Yeah, it was an absolutely difficult race. Did you feel like you had the pace to win that one, or heading into it, or was it you were feel like it was going to be a struggle?
Coming into this, I was it was very unknown to me because I didn't have much practice, and I went with a setup that I've never raced with. So it was one for no high speeds or anything like that. It was more for sector 1 and sector 2. So I had no clue what was going to happen. But Speed Queen had a lot of pace behind us. I think myself and Rupsi Cola's battle blocked her a bit from coming past. But yeah, she was on us. She had a lot of pace.
Yeah, fair enough. Has do you have any questions quickly?
I don't. I just want to say thank you for racing over the last year. You raced in my first ever commentary, which was this league 1 year ago today. So thank you very much for that. You finished third place, by the way, because I've just checked. But yeah, well done tonight. Well done for the last year. And well, do you think you could be in for a championship this year?
To be honest, I think I don't know, a lot can happen, but I'm a bit far behind. I've had such bad luck this season so far. It was a terrible start. I don't know. I'll do my best. That's all I can say.
Yeah, fair enough. That's all you can do. So heading into next week, we are at Imola. How are you feeling heading into that race?
I like the track. I'm not the best at it. I enjoy it, but I don't know. I'm not too great on that track though.
Yeah, fair enough. Well, congratulations on race victory today, and good luck next week and throughout the rest of the season. And yeah, just congratulations. That's an excellent job for this race.
Thank you guys. Thanks a lot for being there and commentating. Awesome job.
Thank you for giving us a race to commentate.
Cool, man.
Let's bring in our second place man in the race, Mr. Gary Gator. Gary, can you hear me? Gary?
Hello, mate.
Hello?
Can you
Yeah, can you hear me? Yeah?
I can't hear you.
Oh, okay. You hear me now?
Wait, one sec.
Cool. Oh, hold on.
And he's gone.
He's gone. Hold on. Might have to drag him back in. Hold on. Oh, he's gone for PS. Okay. It's just not the first time we've had to do this one, but might be a quick switch, but I'll see. So I'll just see as well. So with that in mind, heading into the second half of the season while we wait for Gary Gate to come back. Who? What's your predictions for the second half of the year, your season even?
Well, I mean, it's gonna be. I think it's gonna be an even better title fight than the one we had last season between Yuns Rumbos and JPS, which is, I mean, it's a steep task to get better than that battle. But I think we could be getting there with Fizz not scoring very well tonight. That will open it up more for the other four. You think title contenders at this point? You think it's going to be a battle between 5? And if you look at the championship, Shoot Fizz is on top. Then it's Gary Gator, Speed Queen, Rupsy-Cola, and JPS. It was almost exactly the reverse of that in this race, which means it has tightened up at the top. And well, we're now this was just the halfway point of the season. We are now halfway through, and it's still also open.
Yeah, it's absolutely open because we all thought. I thought at the start of the season, we all thought like we were going to have a bit of domination, but then people started to get closer and closer, and yeah, so it could absolutely be tense now because we've got 7 races to go. We've got 2 sprints in that, bearing in mind. We're just going to see if we can get Gary back in, but it can all turn on its head like it did this race. So we'll just grab Gary back in now, see if we can get him in. Gary, can you hear me? Oh, I can't hear you, but I can see you talking. So
I think we're going to have to go third time lucky in a minute with Gary.
Yeah, might have to.
But
I'm not sure why.
No. Well, we'll work it out.
Work it out. If not, we'll have to.
Exactly.
Yeah, we can't hear you, unfortunately, Gary. Might need to just drag you in, and if we can try drag you in again after, in a second. See if I can move you and move you back. Where is this? Let's see if that fixes it. I'm not sure why Discord's like this. Gary, can you hear me now? No, nothing. Okay.
I'll take that as a no.
I'll take that as a no. So quickly, it'll drag Rupsy-Cola, our third place driver, into Murray's office for a brief moment. Rupsy-Cola, can you hear me? Hello, Rupsy. Oh, that's another driver we cannot hear. Oh, why? I think it's your curse, to be honest. I think it's all of a sudden.
Maybe.
It might be a curse for you, specifically, because all of a sudden we cannot hear drivers.
We never did interviews back in there.
Back in the day.
I'll tell you that. I did one under the safety car once in Monaco with Mr. Kowalski, but then he wouldn't stop talking. I had to interrupt him because the safety car was about to come back in.
Yeah. I might try and join in the Sauber VC, see if that works. So I'll just have to switch everything over. So see if we can hear him. Try that.
Oh, good.
Can you hear us now?
I can hear you now, mate.
Oh, okay. Just give me 1 second. I just got to switch over the
All good. Yeah, all good.
thing. Where is it?
Sorry about that, mate.
Yeah, no, it's all right. It's nothing either of us could have done. I need to just switch over properly because I'm on the wrong thing. There it is. So there we go. Well, congratulations on P2, my friend. How are we feeling after that one?
Oh, that was a long one. Disconnected 3 times, started from P12 and managed to finish P2. So all in all, a good race. Better than P1.
Yeah, you've done an excellent job. It seemed quite a difficult race though, of all the disconnections. Is it something to do with the game, or was it more just internet issues?
I think it's just internet issues, to be honest. I hope it's not the game. Well, see you next week.
Yeah, absolutely. So after heading into the race, what were you thinking?
I was thinking just need to start the opposite to everyone else. So if everyone else was going mediums, I'd go hard. If everyone else was going hard, I'd go medium. Luckily, with the safety car coming out about lap 13, it worked. So with the safety car, those tyres were cooked. The mediums were cooked by the end, and the hards were just okay.
Yeah, absolutely. Kotks, do you have any questions for Gary?
Well, I mean, I just wanted to say, as I said to Jay, and I'll probably say to most of the drivers tonight, the reason I am here mainly is because it's my 1 year anniversary. I started commentating on this league 1 year ago. So thank you for racing throughout that time. I mean, you were still in nappies when I commentated Austria first round up, but I mean, you've joined since then. I think you joined mid that season. So yeah, thank you very much. And well, see you once again, possibly when I unretire from the Neo Racing League, which I seem to keep doing.
Yeah, well, you should definitely come back for one of the races. Maybe finale. Might be a title fight.
Yeah, absolutely. So you're only at the moment provisionally you're 1 point behind Shoot Fizzle. What's your thought process going into next week with Imola?
Well, I don't really know because there might be still some penalties. So it really depends on what penalties. Apparently, I'm supposed to be getting one. Apparently, Jay's supposed to be getting one. So if all in all, Rupsy's going to win the race. But yeah, we'll see after all the penalties and then go in thinking if I need to defend from Shoot or if I can just let him go normally.
Yeah, absolutely. So at least so it's now just a waiting game, but doing that sort of drive must be a good feeling. So congratulations from P2, and if you keep it or if you drop positions, well, wish you good luck for next week and the rest of the season if I don't get a chance to speak to you. So good luck, my friend, and congratulations.
I'm sure you will be speaking to me again.
Yeah.
Sure you will.
Love the confidence. Thank you for your time.
Yep, thank you.
Just jump into Williams VC now. Rupsikola, can you hear me?
Yes, can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you. Just give me one moment,
Nice.
mate. There we go. So well done on claiming P3 once again. How are we feeling after that?
I'm feeling great, mate. I at a really bad qualifying, I messed up my lap, so I need to came from P9. I knew I had great race pace and tire management. But yeah, then I had a great start, gone up to P6, I think. Eventually, with the train, with 212 P6. Many overtakes, turn 1, 2, 3, I think, around the outside, around the inside, then around the outside. It was crazy.
Yeah, you seem supremely confident in that, particularly in that opening sector. Did you feel that, or is it just that? Do you feel comfortable around this track in general?
Well, I don't feel that comfortable, but like the first corner section, wait, I love it. I have my setup is like for that corner, I can almost take it flat out the first all corner. Just need to lift a bit, and I have so much speed there. I can just overtake the best people around the around the outside. So yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. You're now very much in this championship fight. The top 5 provisionally covered by 19 points, and you are in that fight. So, if that's the case, what's your feeling going into next week with Imola?
I think Imola is my worst track.
Oh.
So I don't feel confident, but yeah, we should be able to. If I'm just, especially in this race. You saw how many crashes and incidents and battling there was. So yeah, there was it was crazy. There were so many incidents. But then yeah, so I think if you stay out of that, you can easily get maybe another podium in Imola.
Well, we wish you the best of luck for that. Kotks, do you have anything else? Do you have anything to say, or are you just going to repeat what you said to the other two?
Well, I mean, Rupsy's not been here since the start, so I can't claim that. But yeah, well done. Well done, and good luck for the rest of the season.
Thanks, mate.
Look, thank you for your time, and yeah, so that will be the end of the stream. We will be back next week with Imola, and same time, same place. You'll be able to find us. So thank you all for watching, and we will see you next week. I might be with Kotks, I might be with Stig, I don't know, I might be by myself. So we'll have to wait and see. Thank you.